Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Well, at least it's morning for me. So I'm recording this the day after the podcast. We recorded episode number 41 on April 30th, 2020, just to date it. And today, as I record this intro, it is May 1st, 2020, of course. So I just want to go over a few things before this episode gets started. So first, the podcast is available on the iTunes podcast app. So if you're listening, or if you have an iPhone, you can listen on there. And then the podcast should also be available on the Google Play Store if you have an Android device, because I know some people were asking about that. And we've had that set up since the beginning, so hopefully it's all still working. I know it works on the iPhone. And then just to go over the topics that we talked about in today's video or today's podcast, a lot about PUBG and the addition of bots on console because that's a very hot topic right now, and also the launch of Season 7 and the return of Vikendi. Then we also talked about Google Stadia. PUBG had a surprise launch on the Stadia. And then there's also an Xbox event happening soon, showing off some gameplay of the Series X. We talked about that. And then lastly, we talked about some internet stuff because Andrew's getting ready to move and he's signing up for new internet. And we talked about like what speeds do you need, the importance of hardwiring your connection. So if you're interested in that stuff, definitely take a listen to the podcast. And again, if you're on YouTube, in the background today, there's going to be some gameplay. And then again, I forget if I mentioned this, we're going to be adding webcams. Hopefully, we've been teasing that for a little while, but that's eventually coming probably in like 2 or 3 weeks. So that's very exciting. And is there anything else? Oh yeah, if you want to support the podcast and what we're doing, you can just subscribe to me on YouTube, youtube.com/blitz5. Or you can check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/blitz5 and friends. Just following or subscribing is a huge help. And if you want to become a member or a sub on any of those platforms, which is a paid subscription, you can do so. But honestly, just listening and supporting is the best free way to support the podcast or really any content creator out there that's doing stuff similar to this. So thank you guys for listening, and let's get into the episode. So we got a lot to talk about today. So this is interesting. I'll try to name up some of the topics. Last time we started with a lot of coronavirus talk, and we won't go over that today.
Yes.
So I think we can go over just some like major hitting points or points that we're going to hit while we talk today. Definitely going to be a lot about PUBG Season 7 and bots on console. I feel like that's going to be a lot of the talk in this podcast.
Yeah.
And then I also want to talk about Google Stadia. And then there's a Microsoft event going on May 7th. They're going to be holding like some kind of, like a press conference or like a thing where they're going to show off some gameplay. So we'll talk about that too. And anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's it so far.
Okay.
I mean, just see if something pops up, but I think that's a lot to get through.
Yeah, same here. So I think for a lot of people listening to the podcast are probably PUBG fans because that's what we've been playing, Andrew and I, and talking about. And the YouTube channel, my stream, and everything has been focused around PUBG for the past, year or two.
More than
so
that.
let's
It's almost 2 years now.
Yeah, almost 2 years now. Yeah, and so let's start with that. So we have update Season 7 on console, which just dropped this week, which is crazy because it hasn't even been a week, and it feels like because I'm so deep into PUBG and like social media about it, it feels like it's been a long time because it was supposed to be exciting with the relaunch of Vikendi, but then the bots came out and it was like a PR shitstorm for PUBG, and I thought it was going away, but it's kind of like getting worse because all the PC players are now watching console streams to see what they're in for because they're about to get bots soon.
Yeah.
And then now like the PC people are now like creating kind of like a shitstorm about it in anticipation for the bots.
Yeah. They really did test out the bots on the console players, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So there's a lot of weird theories. Let's just talk about like, I'm sure you've been playing. You said you played last night, right? Like, so what is your experience?
I played the last 2 nights. I mean, it's definitely weird. I almost have a question of like, do they actually parachute in? Because there's been times where we were landing in a spot and we didn't see any other parachutes in that like small vicinity when we were landing, and there was like bots there. I was like, did they just appear here or did they actually parachute in?
So I haven't seen an official comment by PUBG yet, because I don't think they want to officially comment on it, but it's pretty much like 99% certain. Well, first of all, it's 100% certain that some bots do parachute in. That's 100% fact because I've tracked parachutes landed and then killed them and it was a bot. And you can tell they're bots because they fall straight down to the ground. So they don't like come in at an angle right now. So like they basically kind of like appear over like what town they want to drop at, and you see them just falling straight down. So that's how you know it's like a bot in your area.
Okay.
And then I'm like 95% sure, maybe not even 95. I'm saying like 99% sure. Pretty much everybody believes that they're spawning in certain areas. And then I watched a PUBG replay today of one of my games, and it looks like when I was parachuting in, there was bots that were spawning in on the map, like already on the map. So it seems like some parachute in and then some land with you, which to me is really frustrating because like you said, I had this incident where I landed at port. I was spinning my camera around. Not one person even like jumped off the plane with me. There was like no parachutes nearby. I get one gun at port and then I'm getting shot at. And I'm like, it's like I got stream sniped by a bot. And I'm like, that would never happen in game. And it was just really odd, you know?
Yeah. Sorry if you can hear the dog barking.
No, it's all good.
Sorry, everybody. She's a puppy.
Oh yeah, I want to ask you about your doggo, but yeah, it's just a weird. It's just a weird.
Yeah, it's definitely really weird because I was watching another streamer just before, and he landed on like the hill, like the mountain in Sandhawk, and there's like 5 bots there, and I was like, when you were diving in, I did not see 5 shoots. You know what I mean? Like, so in the instances that where I was playing with Wendell. And we've landed places. I was like, where did these guys come from? But yeah, I mean, I guess like that was my first thing with bots. I guess the second thing would be, which isn't honestly even the bigger issue in my opinion, but like the next thing is definitely like the amount of bots and the wait time to get into games because of the bots. Like I think on average, we were spending 5 minutes trying to get into a duo game, whether we were playing Vikendi or we were on random map selection. And then like random map selection, I haven't played Erangel at all in the past 2 days. It's just been funny. Miramar and Sandhawk.
It's funny because so many people are saying they're not getting Erangel. I think that's still like a luck thing though, because I played today and I got Erangel a couple times, like 2 in a row. I just think like, I don't know if their thing's not on 25% or not, because we found out that at some points it hasn't been that way. And for anybody that's listening and hasn't played in a while, with the launch of Vikendi, it's its own playlist right now, so you can play just Vikendi, which makes sense because it's just back in the game. So there's a lot of people that want to play Vikendi, and then you can go into the other section and play the original other maps, or original 3, and then Karkin. So it's Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok, and then Karkin, and then Vikendi's by itself. But yeah, a lot of people said they weren't able to get Erangel, so that's weird. And there's like a mass amount of people that are saying they can't get Erangel, but it doesn't make sense. Because PUBG knows Erangel is like most people's favorite map, that they would like reduce that below like 25%. So I can't believe that. It's just, I think now you're seeing, like if you do well in a game and you play for a half hour, how many games are you going to play at night when you're home from work or you have time to play? So you play 2-3 hours. That's still a lot of time. Maybe you're playing less than that. If you play for 2 hours, that could be only 4 games. So if you get Miramar twice, Karkin, Sanhok, you got 3 maps. But I mean, you played 4 games, you only got 3 maps, and that's it. So it's like, I think it's that's the issue now, is the time commitment versus how many maps there are without map selection. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think last night, to be honest, the bots seemed better. It was just the wait time to get into the games was more of the issue.
Yeah, so it's a lot to go over for people listening. I'm sure if you guys play PUBG, you know, but like the first day, there was just so many bots in all of the matches. And there was actually a lot of weird stuff, like, you know, in North America, where Andrew and I are on the East Coast, like we've never had an issue getting to a match in TPP. So then to experiment, you know, we went into FPP, where that lobby is kind of dead, especially like in the early afternoon and the mornings in North America. So I went into FPP and played a game with like only a few human players. Then I've been pretty hesitant to say this, but like I turned off crossplay from a recommendation from somebody in the stream, and that is insanity. I played a game with just by myself as the only human because most people have crossplay turned on. Like very rarely do people have crossplay turned off. So I've been like refusing to promote that, but I think PUBG has put out a thing where like you can't just keep going between crossplay and not crossplay. So like that could screw you up if you like want to play with your friends, so people don't abuse that system. And at the end of the day, it's not my job to like create the rules. I mean, they put the bots in, but I didn't want to like heavily promote that, and I didn't want to say it on the stream. Less people listen to the podcast than watch the stream. But
Ouch.
so you can do a lot of weird things, like to manipulate
the system
the
and
bot
your
count.
KD.
Totally. And to manipulate, I mean, the KD and stuff in your stats are all out the window. I mean, there's people who said like, there's so many people posting like, I got my first 10 kills for the first time. I got 20 kills. I got 10 dinners in a row or something, because probably they have crossplay turned off or something. Like there's a lot of crazy like stats that are going out the window now, which kind of stinks,
Yeah. I guess like, let's like break it down, because that is a lot. The bots are a big thing, right? So day one bots Tuesday, I guess that was.
Well,
so today's
Tuesday, and then I should say that Tuesday
4/28.
night. Yeah, so my bad. So Tuesday 4/28 bots launch, season launches. People say game's ruined. PUBG comes out with a response that night saying that that's not. And you had a great response, so we got to go over this. And then Andy actually responded back to that kind of response. So PUBG comes out with an article or a post saying that, like, obviously this is not our intention. We apologize. We don't want to be this many bots in the game. The stats were reset. We have Google Stadia coming in now. There's so many different things. And we're also like working with new coding to build the AI in. So like they don't like, it's all just new kind of matchmaking parameters, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's not their intention. But then you came back with a really good rebuttal. If you want to go over what you said about how like, about how they should already have all the data.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, sorry. Like you have, I'm like clearing my throat. Like I'm going to say something really prestigious here.
Like, all right, drop the knowledge
it's just
on
bad timing.
That's all good.
No, yeah. So I mean, they've been collecting data, like, because I was actually talking to the PUBG lookup guy, the guy like that you used for the tournaments. Like,
I saw you guys. I saw you guys like talking on
Tweeting
Twitter. He's
back
been
and
stopping the stream a lot. I think his name is Matt. I think.
Yeah, he's
keep
cool.
going.
And we're tweeting, and he's like, there's not much, like their APIs. To be honest, like their data that, like, and I work with this stuff all day. It's mostly my job, and like their API is absolute trash, but they have plenty of player base, like skill levels, like all this stuff to really get like do a good analysis of, hey, how do we break these people up? Like, what does it look like when we do some sort of like how would we break them up? Like, what are the groupings of skill levels? All these things. Like, there's hundreds of things they could have done to really do like simulations of what this would look like before it even rolled out. You don't need to put everything on a test server,
Yeah, I feel like what you said, like they should already have the data of and again, I'm not like, we're not here to like, I'm not bashing PUBG. We're just talking about like what would have been the better approach here. That they should have already had the data from just 2 years of playing. Obviously it changes week by week and month by month, depending on what content's in the game and how many people are playing. But like they should know like, okay, the peak of Wednesday across America, like Thursday peak, Friday peak, like more people are playing on Fridays and the weekends. They should have all that data so that like they know like, okay, maybe we need more bots every morning in the US, and then like at night turn the bots pretty much down to like we don't need any bots in the game at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's like what people are saying, and I'm even like, but maybe this data thing is messed up. But PUBG Andy came back, because I was talking about that on the stream, and I didn't know he was in the stream. But I was just not that I was saying anything like offensive, but I was just saying like that was an interesting point, and I liked what you said. But obviously, like there could be more stuff to that. And Angie said that like that basically is like where they basically made like a mistake with judging the data, and that like they thought what they were doing was right with the data, and it wasn't. And it seems like he was kind of, just saying that they like messed up that I don't know, that coding, I guess, behind it. But it could be because their data is bad. I mean, who knows? But in either case, like they messed it up. And he was just saying like they kind of are acknowledging that like they messed it up, and like they, he was saying like obviously it sucks and people make mistakes. But people who are like really just vicious against PUBG are just not going to care that they make a mistake. And PUBG obviously has done this stuff like this in the past, so people just like don't want to like give them a chance. But what I don't understand is, again, I think it's like a vocal minority thing. I don't want to get too off topic here, but I just feel like there's so many people who are so on edge, which I don't really know why. Like if you're like so on edge about like a video game, like I just don't understand what's going on. Like it's just, Like, I get
Yeah.
it's like a very fun experience for us, and like a lot of people tune into PUBG for like stress relief and stuff, and like they really count on PUBG being there. And I know it sounds lame, but like that is true.
Yeah.
And but like it's not like the game is gone; it's there, and like it's just 2 days in, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna make tweaks and stuff, but they definitely didn't launch it very well. I don't think anybody can
Nah.
argue that.
And that's definitely why they used console, to be honest with you. Console, they knew they probably had a little bit more of a leeway.
Yeah,
Like the PC community is way more hardcore, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, dude, they like you could have easily just put a cap on how many bots got into a game and been like, listen, like we cannot let more than 30% of the lobby be bots. Just play it safe. You know what I mean? Like
and you know
could
what, that would
always move that number, dude.
dude, that's
like,
such a genius idea, because even if you're playing FPP, what if you just said you can't be more than 20 bots in a lobby? So then you get into an FPP match and there's 70 people in the game and it starts instead of 100. That's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah,
dude, like, I'll
that's an
describe
interesting
like how
thought.
I'll describe like this is like so at work we're building this like a machine learning algorithm that like helps remove like work items to this thing. Like they get data from all these different pipelines and these people have to like sort through it. And basically like there's a lot of like spam type of stuff, like almost like email spam.
Okay.
And like the analysis we do is like, okay, like here's all these different we'll call them emails. Like it's literally we'll call it emails. So like we have all these different people sending us emails. From this one email, 99% of it is spam. And then you have this other email, it's 50% of spam. And in this email, you have 98% of spam. And like you kind of go through this thing and like, you know, okay, like of all these things, you know, like we know where our problem areas are. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were easily able through like a very simple analysis to like be like, hey, this is the issue. And like I get like screwing it up, but it's just like I don't know, man. It's just tough. Like that's not like I just don't think it's impossible to figure this stuff out. And like it sucks that they screwed it up. And like I feel like it was something simple that shouldn't have been screwed up. You know what I mean? Like I guess like I'm more scrutinizing this because I spend 7 minutes waiting to get into a game now because like of that mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
when it shouldn't, when prior nobody was spending that much time getting into a game on in North America, TPP, like during peak hours. Like there's never been a wait time, you know?
And maybe their answer is they need to hire data scientist type people, like people that do heavy data analytics. I don't know. Maybe they have those people, and maybe they engineers do that stuff because engineers aren't. It's not their MO. You know, maybe some of them know how to do it, but there's people that literally like myself that specialize in that, and like, you know, we like I do regret all this mathematical stuff all day long. It's annoying as shit, but like that's why I'm there, because I go, hey, these are our problem areas. Like now we could design an algorithm to solve it instead of just be like, I'm just gonna throw an algorithm at it. Like, you know, we know how much is coming in. We know what, you know what I mean, like topographical stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. I think it was like something that they could have easily capped, you know, and not have had a slip up. But
I wonder, I mean, again, it's too much to like speculate on, but I just wonder if it's like they don't have those people, or maybe like just like how the foundation of PUBG might be a little messed up, that like maybe their data foundation is just messed up, and now it's like kind of like they're trying to fix it. I mean, again, I don't really know enough about that stuff. I mean, I've pulled data like that at my old job, but I used to do too, not like what you did, but like I understand the idea of like pulling data and how like if the data you pull is messed up, it can create a lot of problems. So
yeah, it's definitely an issue, and it could have happened for sure. I think my issue isn't even the bots, dude. It's just waiting, you know, 5, 6, 7 minutes for a game. That sucks to me, because it's like I have 4 hour, or you know, not 4 hours, but I have like 3 hours a night that I could dedicate to playing a game, and it's like if I'm gonna spend 30 minutes of it waiting to get into a game,
it kind of sucks.
That sucks, you know.
Yeah, that's true, man. Especially because, you know, it's just like something they added in that like a lot of people feel like they didn't need to add in, and then that's not even getting into all of like the game feels different now. So like when you play, like, you know, today I had a much better experience, though. I'm not gonna lie. The first game I played, it was awesome. It was such a good game. I had 17 kills and I got a dinner duo. DMart died. I ended up getting 17 kills. Ended up winning. It was such an awesome game. Only one was a bot. So much action. and it felt great. And afterwards, it's pretty
Yeah.
weird because I felt like there was no bots in that game at all. I'm like, oh man, there must have been like no bots. One PUBG stat tracker thing showed like only a handful of bots. The other one showed like 40 bots. And I'm like, how are there 40 bots in that match? If I killed 17 people and only one of them was a bot, and I didn't see like any other bots, but maybe that's true. And it was just luck of the draw. But today the experience was a little bit better. But what stinks is not only the bots easy kills if you're a veteran player, but the action is just reduced because of the bots, and then the game just feels different. It just doesn't feel like in PUBG there's always that like threat of like enemies nearby, and the bots at weird. It like takes you out of like when you're in PUBG. Like PUBG's, I know it's not hyper realistic, but it's so realistic that you feel like you are in like a battlefield, and that's what makes your heart rate goes up.
Yeah.
And it has that feeling of like you really don't. It's kind of like playing paintball. Like you don't want to get shot playing paintball because then you're out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't think you're gonna die, but you really don't want to be out. You really don't want to lose. And like in Call of Duty, it doesn't matter if you die. Warzone different, but in a regular team deathmatch,
Yeah, you're back in.
but the bots kind of make you like, it kind of takes you out of that, like that kind of feeling a little bit. And a lot of people have been commenting on that in the stream and stuff as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think like day one, Tuesday, playing it was bad. Wednesday, it was definitely better. Just a long wait time. There's
Oh yeah, my bad.
less
This is
bots.
day 3. Yeah, sorry.
Now day 3 is probably better, I guess. But like day 1 when we were playing Vikendi, it was weird because there's 100% a different stress to me. Like I was like, am I about to fight a bot or am I about to fight a person?
Yeah.
And like you could tell like the bots burst fire and stuff like that. But like in reality, you don't 100% know. You're just kind of like,
Yeah.
You know, so I was a little bit like that. It was a weird stress. I'm like, this is not a normal issue when I'm playing, you know? So
yeah, totally. I mean,
different.
Even like 3 days though, like my attitude changed a little bit. Like at first I was doing like, I was just running at everybody with a crossbow because I thought everyone was a bot, which like most people were. But like today it went back to normal where like I even kept thinking some people were bots, and then we would kill them and they weren't a bot. And I was like, oh wow, okay, that wasn't a bot.
Yeah, people just suck.
So it went back to like a better experience, but there's just a lot. And I made a video going over all the stuff. Like if you guys want to know like what makes it a bot, I mean, really it's underscore in their name. But the thing is, PlayStation players could have an underscore in their name. So like just because you kill an underscore player doesn't 100% mean it's a bot. But if you just basically check like PUBG lookup right now, or you can check after your game and look at people's IDs. And if they're like an Xbox player, you usually can, or even if they're a PlayStation player, normally you can like view their information. And if you can't view their information, then you know it's a bot. So that kind of is part of it too. Yeah. So you can check like right after you play.
Yeah, it makes sense.
To see who you killed and stuff.
Yeah, and I guess the Stadia players, there's a lot of new people. Like, and I was watching a random stream, and some guy in the chat was saying like his friend just got PUBG and he was loving it. And like, dude, I 100% get the reason for bots. I get it. You definitely need new players. Now everyone playing PUBG is just sweaty for the most part. You know, not everybody, but most.
A lot of people.
So it's difficult. Yeah. So yeah, like you need something to get people to fire the guns. Change weapons, because like it's hard, and people still like the same person was like, yeah, it's like really hard to learn. So I get it. I just think it was just a hard implementation. It wasn't easy to do by any stretch of the imagination, I'm sure, but I think like there was probably a little bit of just like I think like limiting how many bots could have been in a lobby just to be safe for like the first week. You know what I mean? Like these aren't like, it doesn't need to be. Because like I don't know what their plan is now. Are they lowering the bots, or are they just letting it go right now and seeing what happens? Like they're not doing an update, are they?
No, I think what the post made it sound like was that they could do it like right away, but they wanted to gather a little bit more data about the bots, and then I think they already made a slight change, possibly.
Yeah.
But it seems like something they can do like on the fly, because there's some things on the back end that PUBG can do, like with small like matchmaking changes and updates and stuff that don't need a hot fix or an update. Like it just happens behind the scenes. I don't know how that works, because obviously a big update needs like a certification, but I think like those things don't, because it's not affecting like an item or something in the game. It's just like a ratio thing. You know? So I think they could do that.
No, it makes sense. I would hope they can, you know, like having things that are easily changeable without having to make a massive system update is part of being a good coder, I think.
Yeah, it's
But
like a pretty big thing.
yeah, I
Let
would
me
hope
ask
so.
you, what did I say? Oh, so what they said is that for PC, it's gonna launch on like on side of alongside of ranked, and that console was supposed to be the same way, but they I guess there's no answer to why we're getting it without ranked,
Because they
and
needed to test out the bots.
so yeah, there's two theories with that, but I just want to finish a thought on like ranked because then let's go over the two theories and why we got it early.
Okay.
So the idea though is that once ranked is in the game, all the sweaty players can go play ranked and there will be 100% no bots. And even if you're not sweaty but you just don't want to play bots, you go play ranked and that's fine. Even if you're not a great player, you'll just have
Yeah.
a low rank. And then that will also help you have a better experience because then they're not going to, it won't introduce like a full skill-based matchmaking. But like if you're say on the tier of like silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, silver being the lowest, master being the highest. If you're like a bronze player, or bronze being the lowest, if you're a bronze player, they'll just know like, let's try not to match this bronze player up with like a master player, but anything from like bronze to gold or platinum is fine, right? So like that will make it a better experience for like most people. Once you get ranked, then they can do that. And then if you like just want to mess around and do backflips, or you want to play with your friend that's not that good, or you're learning, then you go play like the casual mode. So that's like supposed to be the idea, but obviously on console it's still scary because people don't, not actually scary, but like scary for the longevity of the game because we don't know if there's going to be enough console players now to be in ranked mode. I think there would be, because people would come back to the game, but those bad PR though is like not helping the situation at all. People like leaving. That's definitely shitty.
Definitely shitty.
Yeah, but getting back to the theory why they launched it early. So the two main theories is they're testing it on console first, which we talked about kind of already, and it's kind of an obvious one. That's probably why. And then there's a theory that I don't fully understand. Like someone was explaining, and I almost kind of understood it, but now I forget like what the reason was. But like that it's because of Google Stadia. But I don't really know 100% why Google Stadia would require bots. But someone was saying that like to get Google Stadia to launch PubG, they probably forced them to launch with bots. And I'll explain this for people listening. This is what apparently all I know so far is that Google Stadia now, if you play, it's Google's gaming platform. It's like Netflix for gaming.
Yeah.
You can stream games directly to your device, your phone, your TV, your PC. You don't have to download them or anything. So you can play with a controller. You can actually play with an Xbox controller through your Stadia. So if you play with a controller now, you're going to play with console players, Xbox and PlayStation 4 and bots. And then if you play with mouse and keyboard, this person was saying that you won't play with PC keyboard players. You're only going to play with other Stadia mouse and keyboard players. So for them to have that like option, they would have to have bots. And because there's not that many people on Stadia, they wouldn't want like to show that there's not enough people on Stadia. So then they said like the only reason we're going to do Stadia is if you have bots. So because I guess Stadia players could also probably turn their cross-play off or something. So to enable that, they'd have to have bots because there's not enough people playing. So this is like this like, theory. Yeah, and I don't know if that's, I mean, who knows if that's true or not? And I guess it doesn't even matter if it's true because it's not like an evil conspiracy theory, but like maybe that's why.
It's not
and then
5G is causing COVID or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a crazy conspiracy theory, but I wonder what the deal is with Stadia. And then nothing was like leaked about Stadia, like that came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was expecting that. So
yeah, I mean, I guess.
You think that makes sense? Like that, maybe that's why, or you think it's more just like they're testing it on us first?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, who knows?
I would say they're testing it out on us first because PC people are already like up in arms the second I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I know Choco Taco tweeted out today, like, why are people not into the ranked playing, like kind of thing. And like, I get that. Like, yeah, why aren't people into ranked? I'm not a great player, but I don't really care if I play ranked. Like, how much better or you know what I mean? Like, are people going to be? And like, if you're a good player and you're playing with like your average friends, it's going to average out, and you're going to play with, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
he was saying skill-based matchmaking though, which is like different than ranked. I mean, because skill-based matchmaking can happen in like casual games. You know what I mean? But it's like, I think you're right though. I think some people don't love playing ranked, but I think ranked is like the perfect thing, and then having a casual on the side as well. But skill-based matchmaking is ranked, but I think they were talking about like in Call of Duty and stuff. But skill-based matchmaking, it just isn't good for people because they don't like it. Because you get matched with people that are skill-based matchmaking. Just games. Yeah, you get harder games. So like you're gonna get matched. It's basically forcing ranked on you, and then like people that how are you gonna get, like, let's face it, I always say this, like if you get 20 kills in a PUBG match or something like that, like I got 19 kills one time. If you're getting 25 kills or 30 kills in a PUBG match, like those are almost unheard of numbers, but sometimes people do them, and you have to be an amazing player to do that. But let's just face it, you're not playing people at your skill level if you're getting 30 kills in PUBG. Like that's just not happening. Yeah. So if it was for skill-based matchmaking, then every game would be really tough, and then it just wouldn't be as fun for players. And you know, I think that's why you have to opt into that. So like having the ranked mode, like I always say, League of Legends to me with that was so great, where like we would play casuals all day long. You could play casual matches. Sometimes they'd get sweaty. There was a bot mode where you could literally just train and practice against bots. Mm-hmm. And then there was a ranked mode where like when we were like, okay, I've practiced with this character, because there's different characters. I've practiced with this character for like 2 weeks now. I'm going to go into ranked mode. I'm ready. You go in with your team, you go in with your character you feel comfortable with, and then you see like how you match up with the other players, and it makes you better. And then it like becomes this like addiction where like, okay, I got ranked in gold. Now I want to climb to platinum. And that's in Apex right now. And like our friend Tom, like I was asking him, like, what are you doing? He's like, oh man, I'm grinding. I'm so close to platinum. And it becomes this like really fun push to see like how far you can go. And then it makes people play more, and it's like good for the game. And it's also good for like the competitive scene. And then if like they add in some competitive rules, then it makes people more into competitive. And then maybe they watch professional version of the game, and then it makes the game better. Like it's just this like huge, like, I don't know what you call that. It's just like a huge circle of like marketing and betterness for the game. I don't know how to describe that, but
yeah, I get what you're saying. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sweet. And I love that in games, because I like to play so casual. Like I love trying like to win, but I love, like today we were doing so much fun stuff. We were sending it on the vehicles. Me and D-Mart spent the whole time on the train. The other day, I want to try to play an entire match on the train, like where I never get off, and where I hopefully get like circle love or end up like killing somebody from the train to win the game. And like it's just so much fun doing that. But like I'm not going to do that in a ranked mode. And sometimes I want to play really competitive. You know, sometimes I want to like try really hard for for 5 games and get that like competitive nature out.
Yeah, no, I know. I think I have the same thing. It's not like I'm like a great player or really competitive at the game, but yeah, I get it. Like sometimes it's fun to just mess around, and other days it's fun to have really, tough games and like
serious game and like actually try to win. Yeah. So I feel like that would feed the game pretty well. So it seems like it seems like that's coming, and that'd be a really good thing. But it's also like kind of it's sad that it's late for PUBG, because they needed this like last year or something, you know?
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, they're in a rock and a hard place, I guess. You know, I think hopefully like some of this stuff does bring back players or brings on new players. It's just hard to say what will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and this whole thing with Stadia, I kind of want to try downloading it. So PUBG Andy said that he tried it. He did the free trial, sort of D-Mart, but D-Mart's internet is really bad.
Yeah.
So I want to, there's a 2-month free trial right now, and I might download it tonight or tomorrow, just try it, or this weekend maybe. Yeah. Maybe on Saturday or something, I'll download it. I don't know if my cat is making noise in the background, but sorry if he is. And I wanted to ask you, so what's up with the doggo right now? It's a quick segue real fast before we get back into PUBG stuff. How's your Andrew just got a puppy like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we'll have her 2 weeks this weekend. She's good. She's like a black lab mix.
A black lab.
She's good. Yeah. She's like, for some reason, she has like times where she just barks a lot. She's not like a yappy
just out of nowhere.
Dog.
Yeah.
What's that?
Just like out of nowhere, she'll start like barking.
She wants attention, but it's like weird. She's got like a screechy bark right now because she's a puppy.
She's a puppy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she's really good. She's like housebroken. She's very sweet. Her name is Gypsy.
Nice. I like that name.
Yeah, it's cool. It's different. She's good. She hasn't had an accident in the house.
No way, really?
No,
that's awesome.
Not one. You know, she's so like I think total 10, 11 or 12 weeks old. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you been taking her for walks or just keeping her in the backyard?
Mostly in the backyard. She had like fleas apparently. Like, you know, when you get rescued, there's all these, and she had like hookworms, so she's on medication. She's like,
oh shit. Okay.
The poor dog had like explosive diarrhea.
Oh no.
I didn't know
I didn't know you rescued her. That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah, she
Nice. It's a good move.
dude. So like she's it's like so ridiculous to tell on this, but she like they give you them a medicine and you get to like inject into their mouth, and you give it to them like every 3 weeks for the worms, which is like very normal for rescues and stuff like that to have like these
our cats had them too when we adopted them. Yeah, or whatever, and, similar worms or something.
Yeah, and it's just like normal. And she's like having diarrhea, and it's like how the worms are dying or something like that. And I was outside with her the other morning, and she like was just having like explosive diarrhea, and like one point she like farted and like some shit just shot out of her, and it scared her. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. I felt so bad.
Oh my god, dude, that is
like it's just violent. She like jumped and like kind of like almost like ran away, and she's like, "Oh, I'm still going." She's like, but she's been really good otherwise, and it's getting better now. But it was just like the first day of that, I was like, "Oh my god." She just shit herself scared.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy. I feel bad when the animals have to deal with that stuff, and then they have like diarrhea, and you're like, oh my god. And then like the worms. If I know it's not good, probably it's gross to listen to, but it's kind of sad too that so many like animals that are in shelters like have those worms and everything, man.
I know, it's crazy.
It's pretty nuts. But I'm sure you saw this, and people listening to the podcast, that like a lot of animal shelters and stuff have all their animals adopted, or like most of the animals are adopted because people are home and can have time to like train the puppies. I mean, your family's always had dogs, I feel like, but so it's for you guys, it's just like the same old thing. But a lot of people, like are now, I legit almost said downloading animals, like adopting. Dude, my brain sometimes, after spending so much time on the internet, I just start speaking in like computer speak. Yeah, I'm stuck in the game. Legit.
Yeah, I think like the woman the foster person said like they stopped taking foster people because like so many people were volunteering to foster the dogs.
Yeah.
And they're worried that like they're worried about like, it's just not good like if they're not prepared for it. So
yeah,
they weren't like
that makes
letting
sense.
new people foster and stuff like that. And I think they stopped taking like also applications too to like adopt, because like people will adopt the dog and then go back to work and then they don't want to watch the dog. You know what I mean? Like they're like, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely scary. Not like to think about like if too many people are adopting animals and then it just becomes like a problem again.
Yeah, they're just gonna give it back. It's just like what do you this is selfish.
Yeah, totally. That's something that like hopefully doesn't happen, but you never know.
Yeah,
people and stuff. Dang. But yeah, man, what I was saying, so about, what is this picture? So, I kind of want to try the Stadia thing because what's interesting is I watched a video of somebody who, pulled up like launching Stadia for the first time, and they like timed it versus their Steam account, and you don't have to download anything. So say for example, like if you've never played PUBG before, you can literally just log into Stadia and be playing PUBG within like a minute or two because there's no download. It's just like it's like Netflix. Like you just click PUBG and you're in the game, which is kind of crazy. And
no, it definitely is.
It's a cool idea, awesome. But it's crazy that Stadia bombs so bad though.
Google does a terrible job, I feel like, at this stuff. Like Google has done so many things where they're like, we're gonna launch this thing and do this and that, and they just fucking bomb it all the time, dude.
Dude, it's crazy because Google Glass. There's a lot of other Google projects. What was the thing? Google Plus, and then YouTube Gaming. All these things that are like huge, like social networking. So much money in social networking, kind of.
And they keep bombing
gaming,
Hangouts.
Huge. Like what do you I just don't get it, man.
How do you fuck it up?
They suck at that stuff, dude. And it's crazy because they have like infinite money, and
infinite, dude. Literally infinite.
Yeah, they're lucky. They just they monopolized Google and YouTube so hardcore. And I would say YouTube has the bigger monopoly, even though probably not because so many people use Google. But at least like I have Bing now. But seriously, like there's no other Bing for YouTube, dude. Like get out of here. There's no like who's using Vimeo or anything. There's no other search thing for videos other than YouTube, right? Like Daily Motion or something. Like who's using that? Anybody?
No way. There's a weird backdoor site.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy, man. The YouTube gaming thing is like such a fail. Like I can't believe it, man. I try, I love YouTube, and it's like PUBG. I don't want to talk bad about it because I love it so much, But YouTube is just let me down because I really thought they were going to eventually come out with so many cool features because they kept kind of hyping it up. And then they literally announced something like, we're excited to announce this great new feature in YouTube streaming. You can now clip a segment. I'm like, dude, that's been a feature on Twitch and Mixer for years.
6 years.
For like 6 years. Yeah, like, what are you talking about? We introduced this new feature. Like, but yeah, it's just a bummer because there's so much potential for not only for them to like make money, but like as a platform and as a streamer and other people, like it's kind of a bummer. And plus competition's always good, but they're just not like really throwing down, and Twitch is like just running with all that stuff.
No, yeah. I mean, and I think Google is like Microsoft with like the X Cloud is like not like they're rolling it out slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like I haven't been following that much, but like it seems like it is kind of like a slow thing, but it's going to build up over time, right?
Yeah. So, I don't think they're rushing it. I think it's really going to be when the new Xbox. Actually, I could look it up. xCloud.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like also, there's so much data involved. We were talking about that today on stream. That like so it sounds like that's going to be the future is xCloud and Google Stadia, where like you can stream a game to your phone, right? Like you could be on a train playing your real PUBG from Xbox on your phone, but with a controller in your hand that's Bluetooth to your phone and then you keep in your backpack, right? Like say you have a backpack controller and all this stuff, but then there's so much data. Like there's just an insane amount of data being used now, even in 2020. What is it going to be like when people are streaming 60 frames per second games? It's just going to be insane amount of data, dude. I can't imagine the infrastructure this is going to take.
Yeah.
How much like stuff is going to
100%. Look, I'm looking at the xCloud Project xCloud preview thing. So it says compatible with mobile devices, Android version 6.0 right now. Compatible Xbox wireless controller with Bluetooth, and it requires 5G Wi-Fi or mobile data connection. Okay. 10 megabytes per second download.
Well, that's not that bad. A lot of people have 10 megabytes nowadays.
No, 10 megabytes is nothing, dude.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, so like, look, actually, I was getting internet for the apartment a couple weeks ago, and this is off topic, but on topic. So like, I went and I'm gonna get Verizon. We have the option between Verizon and Optimum, but so I get Verizon, I get 1 gigabyte data because I'm like, fuck it, I'm going big. I'm like, actually, I want like the 700 or 600, and the guy's like, actually, like if you just pay $5 more a month, you end up getting 1 gigabyte because the router's included. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do that.
Yeah.
My install date is like May 15th. Verizon's not doing installs right now because of COVID. They pushed my install like some bullshit date in December 22nd. Like,
no. December?
Yeah, it's like
Verizon?
a placeholder. It's a placeholder date apparently. So I don't know when they're actually. No idea when they'd be installing. So, because I can't do at-home install because it's a new building, so they actually have to come and do the install.
What, dude? That's I mean, I guess it makes sense, but that's just such a far out date. But I mean, obviously they're dealing with stuff. But
so I tweeted at them and they DM me and they're like, "We know it's an inconvenience, but we'll call you when your setup date's available." I'm like going on Twitter and people are like actually replying on it, and they're like saying like I was supposed to have my install April 15th or the beginning of April, and they still had no internet. I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not having internet.
Yeah.
Not having internet, whatever. So I went with Optimum. I call up Optimum and I'm like, I know they're not as good, but in reality, like, dude, like people that I've known had it years ago. And internet in general is just more reliable now than it was. Just in general, like it's more like you don't have as many issues typically, depending on where you are. Like if you're in the middle of nowhere, like maybe where DMart's location is, it's just not as good.
Yeah, no, he said he's like I'm in the middle of nowhere in Texas, like that's where he lives. So
yeah. So it's just you're just not gonna have
shout
the
out
same
to
quality.
DMart.
But like the guy's on the phone with me, he's like, listen, like, what do you want? I'm like, oh well, I was thinking about getting the 1G. Or he was like, he's like, what do you do? He didn't ask me what I want. I was like, I do this, this, and this. I play video games. I work from home and all that shit. And he's like, it's just two of you in the place. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what does she do? And I'm like, she works from home. We stream. We're going to use YouTube TV. We're going to be streaming all the time. So, maybe 2 TVs at most, like 1 TV or one person's playing. I'll be on the computer playing video games, whatever. And he's like, you only need 300 megabytes per second. I was like, really? he's like, yeah, he's like, why? He's like, what? He's like, what do you do? What do you need? Like, he's like, you realize like Twitch. He's like, people like, he's like, I've had people with like that stream and they're like, oh, I need a gigabyte upload. He's like, dude, Twitch only uploads 6 megabytes per second.
Yeah, that's it. No, I know. That's like the greatest, like, it's like one of the biggest misnomers in like internet history that like you legitimately don't need more than like 50 download and more than 10 upload to do pretty much anything online at a nice rate. Like you don't need, you know, if you have a lot of people in your house, then you might want like 100 download or something. But the thing is that if you are someone legitimate, the only people that need fast internet is if you're uploading files constantly to like Gmail to YouTube and downloading files, which I'm legitimately doing. Like my upload speed being almost like 1,000 or 1 gig literally changes my whole YouTube schedule, because back where I used to live, it could take me like 5 hours to upload a video, and now like my videos upload within like 10 minutes most of the time. Sometimes, you know, like half hour.
For you, it makes a difference.
So for me, it's like huge, but the download speed, when am I downloading things that are huge files? Like not that much. And even Xbox caps at like 200, 300 downloads, megabyte speed. So when I'm downloading a game,
it's not,
my 1,000 gigabyte doesn't even matter, or my 1,000 megabytes, 1 gigabyte. So even then, we don't need 1,000. There's just, I don't think there was an option when I looked for like 500, but like having a certain amount is good. But for the average person, even if you're Twitch streaming, you don't need that kind of crazy data.
No, not at all. And like even like the most intensive thing that is like for like even if you're like streaming videos and stuff, is 4K, and that's max 25 megabytes per second. And think about this, is that even if you have a gig and you are doing downloads and uploads and stuff like that, if you're not hardwired to your router, it doesn't matter. There's no Wi-Fi that has the ability to upload and download a gigabyte. You'd have to be hardwired.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hardwired like everywhere, but yeah, most people aren't.
Most
so it's
machines can't do it. You need like a special Wi-Fi like card on your computer. So like odds are, if you're buying a gigabyte internet and you're on Wi-Fi, you're just wasting your money.
Yeah, totally. The only thing that's nice about Verizon though is the reliability though. So that's why like maybe eventually you could switch, because I mean you'll see how you'll see how it is having it for a year, but like having, you know, obviously depending where you are in the US or if you're listening to this somewhere else in the world, like you have different internet providers, but like Comcast, like always would cut out, because you know what the difference is. Comcast, like for example, I've lived in apartments for like the past like 10 years. So what Comcast does is like if you're in an apartment building and there's say 40 people living there, then like they're sending in internet to that apartment to like one big wire, and everybody's splitting it. So like when everyone would come home from work, like 6 o'clock, internet would cut out. And then like late at night, the internet would cut out like again. And that was infuriating to me. And then with Verizon, it's like since I've lived in this apartment now for like 2 years, however long it's been, like the internet has only gone out once, and it was like during a like New Jersey area wide like blackout in our area. It went out for like 4 hours. But like the internet here is so reliable, like the Verizon Fios. And when we lived previously in college and had Verizon Fios, like never had an issue. It's just incredible, like the reliability. And having Comcast made me legit want to hit the router with like a sledgehammer, because it's so you know, and we paid I paid for like 100, 200 download and like 20 upload speed, and I never even got that.
Was that like, but I think that also depends on the building too. I don't like, maybe it was Comcast, but I think maybe the way the building was wired too.
No, but I'm telling you, dude, if you read online, I mean, Comcast is famous for that. Like everyone has the same story on Comcast.
Better not fucking do that, or I'll be pissed.
So, but most people have that experience, man, and that's why like the true fiber is so much stronger in providing that signal to you that over than the regular wires, and having that 1-to-1 ratio of the internet is what saves the day, because all that other shit is fake. It's not fiber, even if it says it is. If it's not 1-to-1 ratio, then it's not true fiber. And like sometimes they use fiber tips or something, and they say, oh, we have fiber, but it's not. And that 1-to-1 is when you know you have true fiber, if it's like 500 upload, 500 download. So I don't know. I'm saying you're going to be fine, I think. But if you notice like you're having interruptions on like a weekly basis, then you know like, okay, at the end of the year, let's just switch to Fios.
Yeah, I got to ask them if my internet is like month to month or if it's a year contract or not. Because if it's month to month, then I'm going to hopefully just be like, as soon as everything's settled, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go get Verizon.
Yeah, I mean, Who knows? I
But
mean, you might like it. I mean, I liked Comcast's. I mean, this is like off gaming talk, but I liked Comcast's TV better than Verizon Fios' TV.
yeah, well, we're gonna use
but
the YouTube TV anyway.
okay, yeah,
But
but
like, I think the guy had told me, because like the way the building is set up is that they have to run the wire to my apartment. That's the whole point of the install.
well, they always have to run the wire to your apartment though. Even in Comcast, there's like they always have, or like that setup, they always have to wire it to your place.
So what do you? How is it? Yeah, but what do you mean? Like, so they're running one wire down the road?
No, I think it's like done in like certain blocks. Like the way it was explained to me. Again, I'm not like an expert in this stuff, but like that because it's like basically like people in your area are using the same kind of internet, and because it's not fiber, it can't handle it. The process of it getting sent to all the people is different. When like fiber, it doesn't matter if there's like 1,000 people on it. Like it's just handling it because it's fiber. I mean, I don't know enough. I guess
like
to comment on it.
Yeah, it's like
But
glass or something.
it's just like a different. It's like it has more lanes on the highway for it to not get congested than the regular setup does. I mean, you'll see, dude. I mean, it probably will be fine, but it's not Comcast, right? But most people at Comcast, like especially when I was talking about this on the stream, everyone was like, "Yeah, at midnight always cuts out." It's so weird. It's like a weird thing, and they throttle you, and it sucks, man. And shout out to Verizon Fios, man. I legitimately said now that like where I live, I will try to only go somewhere that has Verizon Fios 100%. I'm like a lifelong customer of Verizon Fios.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I want
it.
I want Verizon. I also think it was dumb because the guy even from Optimum was like straight honest. He's like, it's a real testament to their marketing, like to get people the amount of people they do to buy gigabyte internet.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, dude. I'm like, I get it for sure.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, at least he's being honest with you because you really don't need a lot of that stuff.
No, and honestly, dude, I've never. I mean, years ago when I think when we first got internet from Comcast, dude, we had a lot of issues with them, and honestly, we have had no issues in probably like the past year or two.
That's good.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I think it just depends.
Like
on,
you said,
I
think like the internet has gone like.
It's definitely got more reliable
better.
all over the thing, and I bet you though too that Comcast is like when you first got internet, they didn't have the wiring, and now they've probably been doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where like I was living before was like an old building, so like it's probably old wires and stuff like that.
Well,
so
that's what that was an issue in my house actually. So like we're really off topic right now, but like we had an old wire running to like from one end of the house to the other end. And the guy kept coming and he's like, listen, dude, like, he's like, honestly, he's like, the wire you have is so old. He's like, it's ruining the rest of your connection. So he's like, if you could just replace that, he's like, you'd be fine. And once we did that, we were fine.
That's good.
I like ran the wire like through the house, all this shit and
nice
everything. And it was fine. He was right. So it depends. I'm just hoping like this isn't going to be shit internet, dude, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I think New Jersey has good internet no matter what. Like,
no, we do. I think
Optimum was fine.
I think I didn't know this, but I'm pretty sure I read it. I got to. Sorry I'm not trying to be like all bro science, but I'm pretty sure I read an article that this like within the last 6 months that New Jersey on average had the best internet connection, best state in the U.S. for internet out of anywhere in America. So it was best states to access the internet. No, like fastest internet by state. Maybe that's wrong. Fastest internet by state. It's a weird thing to Google, but this is saying like Hawaii, but I just don't believe that because it's in the middle of the oceans. But that's not fastest. That's just the best place to access the internet.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it makes sense because I think Verizon's like hub is here because there's like a big Verizon thing not so far from me here, like a huge like corporate thing, and then there's like another like big factory area around here. So it's like I think there's like it's insane. The like because I was so surprised when I was here and I was like gigabyte speed. Holy crap, it's awesome.
Yeah. No, I know. I gotta see. I should ask the guy if we're on a month payment or what the deal is.
Yeah, I was just looking at this.
See, this is March 18th, 2020 that Optimum still uses cable and Verizon is fiber. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I think it is though because it's not the 1-to-1 ratio. If there's no 1-to-1, it's not true fiber. And most of those places, Comcast, Optimum, don't have a 1-to-1 ratio. Verizon Fios is the only one I know that has it. I'm sure Google Fiber is 1-to-1, but it's the it's that 1-to-1 nonsense.
Optimum. I would look that up.
Because they said like, oh, Comcast has it, but then like it's tipped with it, or like, you know, leaving their center it's fiber, but then by the time it's at your house it's actually just cable still.
Gotcha. Interesting. OptimumReviews.org.
So I don't know. I mean,
again, I'll look at it. I should ask the dude if I'm a month to month or what. Like,
yeah,
I think it is.
But even if it's a year, dude, it's not gonna kill you, because it's not like it's not like you're gonna be doing something. As long as your internet is working.
No, I know. I'm just really paranoid.
No, you'll be fine, man. It will totally be fine. Even when I had Comcast at my other place, I still was able to stream and stuff. It just would annoy me because sometimes it would go out for like on the stream. But streaming is different because you are uploading. And that's cool. I mean, on YouTube, I upload at 30,000, which is 30 megabits, 30,000 bits or whatever it is. So it's a lot, but it doesn't even look better because it's compressed. But anyways, I mean, it's not a bad conversation, because for gamers, you guys should be hardwired. It's actually, you know, pretty relative to that stuff. And something that I did was interesting is I actually couldn't believe this, that since I might have mentioned this on the podcast before. But when I was younger, I actually had, shout out to, it's crazy his memory. Shout out to our buddy Steve N2P. I remember his dad. I don't know like why his family was so good with this stuff, but when I would go to his house, he had they had like a bunch of computers. I think his dad was into like tech stuff, and I would go to his house and we would play Command and Conquer. I would be like in his basement playing Command and Conquer. He'd be like in his room playing Command and Conquer, and we'd be like playing against other people and bots. And his dad had all these like huge Ethernet cables back when like I didn't even really know what the Ethernet cable was. And he gave me like a 50-foot cable. And I was like, oh, this is awesome, because then I linked my computer in my house, my childhood home was in the upstairs, and my game room was in the downstairs. So like I was like, Mom, I got to run this cable to have faster internet to play Halo. So even since I started playing Halo 2, I was like always running like an Ethernet cable, or maybe shortly after that, whatever. And I carried that with me like my whole life. Like I still had it until like not so long ago. And I had actually bought like a new one too. So I had two, one for my computer, one for my Xbox that I had been using. And I realized that one that he gave me was so old that it was hindering my speed. So I recently, and I never thought about it. I'm like, damn, that wire's got to be so old. So I upgraded, and even with the category cables, like some of them, you don't even need to go that high. Like the earliest one is like a Cat 5, and then it's like the Cat like 6 or one of them goes way over 1,000. So like you don't even need a good one, a great one. But one of mine is like a Cat 5e, and the other one's like a Cat 6. But the story here, what I'm trying to say is that like try to be hardwired if you can, even if you get a 20-foot cable, and B, make sure that you have like something that is up to newer standards. Like you can Google the category standards and what you need. Like it will tell you cat speeds, and then buy that one off Amazon, wait for it to get delivered, hardwire, try to hide the wire if you can. And that makes your experience so much better on Xbox and on your PC or your laptop. If you have one, it's just way better, especially if you're really into gaming. But I think most people know that by now, to be hardwired. But that's the way to go.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you're not hardwiring your console or a gaming PC, you're not getting the full
straight up new
benefit. Yeah, because in reality, even if you are upload, download, whatever, like your Wi-Fi is not going to be able to handle probably like on your Xbox isn't probably more than like 50 megabytes per second, to be honest with you. And I doubt it's even that much. I think it's probably like 20 to 25.
Yeah, it's pretty low. And the Xbox caps it. And yeah, my our buddy Chris was like, I was doing the Wi-Fi and like it was so low on his Xbox. So like you got to check all that stuff, check the speeds, and because again, like what we're saying is you don't need that much internet, but it can help a little bit in certain instances to have it just a little faster. All right, so I feel like we beat that topic up like a dead horse. Is that the saying?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It was fun to talk about personally. Yeah. So let's end on this Xbox event. So let's just wrap it up. So we got season 7, the bots. But by the way, you think playing in the new Vikendi and the updates, it's playing pretty well, right? Before we just leave that in the past. Like, did
Yeah,
you
no,
find? I thought it was playing great.
it was
The
definitely
game.
playing good.
Yeah,
But I
I
mean,
would say it's
also, is
probably
that
the
because there's
best.
less people in the lobbies?
It could be because less people, but it was honestly playing the best it's ever played. Like for me, I saw
Yeah.
somebody crash through a bridge on McKendy, like old school style.
Oh yeah.
Someone sent me that clip, but for me, on the Xbox One X SSD, I mean, like, not a lot of frame drops. It's been playing super well. So and it looks really good. Like the Vikendi looks fantastic. Like if I was playing in 4K, it probably looks almost somewhat like a PC. Like it looks really good. Some of the clips now are like awesome looking. I thought it
Yeah.
looked pretty sweet. All right, so I pulled up this thing. So this is a Microsoft first look inside Microsoft event, inside Xbox,
Mhm.
and this is going to be premiering on May 7th. So that's it's gonna be May. I can't believe I just did that, but that's coming. May is here. Today is April 30th. Tomorrow's May 1st. So that is next Thursday, 1 week after today, and that's starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you're in the UK, that's going to be 4 p.m. So what I'll do is probably watch this and then start streaming like an hour after. Or
What time is it? I'm sorry, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
no, it's May 7th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 11
Oh,
a.m.
okay, okay.
For us,
Cool.
for us. I was
Why
reading off
is it
UK
4?
time. Yeah, for UK it's 4.
Yeah.
For
Fine.
people in the UK. So I'll either wait till this is over to start streaming, or if it goes late, I'll start streaming about like an hour and a half after, because that's usually when I start my stream is around noon. And they're going to be showing off. So the tweet says that they're going to be showing off some Series X gameplay. We want to show you games for the Series X. So we were wondering, like, what stream today, what are they going to be showing? Maybe it'd be cool if we saw a little bit of the new Halo. That'd be pretty cool. And I don't know what other games they're working on because I haven't been following it, but it's going to be fun to see some cool gameplay, maybe some new information about the Series X, and maybe probably they haven't announced a price yet, right? No information on that yet.
No, not as of yet.
No, Xbox Series X price. It's probably going to be
It's 500.
between $500 to $600. It seems like from what everyone's saying. Heard a rumor that the PlayStation 4 was $550, or PlayStation 5, excuse me. I don't know if you've seen any of those rumors. I don't know. I haven't been following it like hardcore.
I did see that, but I don't. It's just rumors. But it makes sense. I would say it's in that price range. I think they're both gonna be in that price range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anywhere from $500 to $600. And so that's it, man. I mean, are you still hyped about it, or it's whatever?
No, I'm definitely hyped about it. I'll be getting it the day it comes out. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be fun. It's kind of crazy to think like a new console is coming out, to be honest with you, and then everything with coronavirus, and it's kind of weird. Not to bring that up, but it's just gonna be interesting to see. I wonder if it'll get delayed or anything.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, that's always like the issue. They're saying like supply chain could be messed up, but
Yeah,
it's hard to say. I mean, yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
I hope
I mean,
it's-
I'm not in a rush to get it, so if it gets delayed, I guess I wouldn't mind. But yeah, it'll be exciting for Halo, and then Cyberpunk coming out, and some other games, which is pretty cool. And I guess to end it, what's interesting is that PUBG actually is kind of lucky because all this stuff is happening at the end of Xbox's life cycle, and there's really no other games other than Warzone being out there like contending for its space. And I don't know if there's any other BRs coming out. So really,
Yeah.
I mean, it survived Fortnite, it survived Apex Legends on console, it survived, I mean, Battlefront Firestorm wasn't even really like a contender. Warzone obviously is taking a big hit to it because Warzone is, a lot of people are enjoying that, but they do have some time to like regain their market share, but they got to get their shit together on console by Series X, because if it's Series X comes out and PUBG's not performing right, I think that is going to be legit. People are going to be like, well, there's new games now, Halo, there's new titles, and people are going to be like getting ready to move on for the next horizon of games. You know
I'm
what I
definitely
mean?
excited for the next gen. I mean, dude, like 100%. I wish E3 was going on this year. We could have gone, but
Yeah.
things changed because it would have been pretty sweet because it's like once every 8 years that there's a new console launch, and like E3 is like super big.
Yeah.
So sucks that this year had to be the year it's not there, but
Interesting times, man. Crazy.
it is definitely. But I'm still hyped. I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be such a big step up now, like the way they've like changed things. It's really good.
Yeah, same here, man.
So
Be exciting to see.
definitely.
All right, dude. Let's wrap it up here. I think that's good for today, man. Some good PUBG and life talk. Yeah, man.
Definitely. Well, thanks everyone for joining us in the final circle.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Fist bumps. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast again. If people made it this far, maybe I'll include this in the intro too. But if you skip that, this is also on Google Play. It should be, and I know it's on the iTunes podcast app if you have an iPhone. So you guys can listen on there, because on YouTube we don't have anything fancy right now. We've been talking about it for a while, but when Andrew gets into his new place and has internet, we will be doing like hopefully you'll see us on the webcam. It'd be a little bit more entertaining to watch us. And I'll try to put some gameplay or something in the background, but the file size is just huge, adding gameplay to like an hour and a half or hour podcast.
Yeah.
But we'll, day by day, week by week, we're thinking about stuff, we're planning on it, and we're excited to add that stuff. But for right now, it might just be like a picture of the final circle or some PUBG gameplay for the time being. So just so you guys know. All right.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Later.
Peace.